Now that we've got the two halves assembled, we're going to join the two halves to make the entire table. Again, we're going to dry fit all the tenons, make sure there's no problems there, and I've done that. And in the same manner, apply glue to the mortises and to the tenons, and this time put on the short cross members. And glue in 4 tenons. So the trickiest part of this assembly is to get all 4 tenons lined up. You just want to take it slow, try to align all 4 mortises. And we'll use 4 clamps, 1 on each joint, just to bring it home. Now that our stand is assembled and glued, and the glue has been given time to dry, we have a couple items to go before we actually mount the sander on the stand. First order of business is clean up any glue that may have squeezed out on the joints. And overall, this looks pretty good, and it doesn't take a lot of time. Just a sharp chisel in each corner and break out any remaining glue. After that, we'll give it a quick finish sand. One of the last steps before we mount the sander on the stand is to put it on these locking swivel casters. Now, like many of you, I use what I have laying around, and what I had were stem casters. So ordinarily these would fit through a leg and then get bolted on. To make this stem caster work in a solid leg like this, we're going to recess a nut in the bottom of each leg. To do that, we're going to use a Forstner bit and drill in the depth of this nut. And I've used a bit that's slightly smaller than the point diameter on this nut, so we should be able to press fit that in place and have it hold. So first thing we're going to do is mark the center of each hole by making intersecting cross marks on the bottom of each leg. I want to go just deep enough with the Forstner bit so that the nut is recessed below the surface. Okay, with all 4 holes drilled with the Forstner bit to countersink the nuts, now we're going to drill a smaller hole inside of there with a 1/2 inch Forstner bit to allow for the stem to go up inside of the leg. Okay, now it's time to press fit the nut. The nut should not go in the hole by hand. It's nice when we can get it started. We're going to use a clamp down the distance of the leg to draw the nut into the hole. You just have to watch to make sure that it's going in evenly. We've got all 4 nuts countersunk into the bottom of each leg. Now it's just a matter of screwing in a caster into each. I position the sander on its stand so that I can mark the mounting holes on the bottom of the sander on the top of the legs. We're going to install a threaded stud which will protrude from the top of each leg and allow us to bolt the sander onto the top of the tool stand. Okay, it's in this location where I've marked here that I'm going to install this threaded stud. Well, the sander's mounted on its stand and we're all finished. This project was straightforward and simple, but demonstrated the principles of loose tenon joinery and how versatile it can be. You could apply the same principles to fine furniture building, making tables, chairs, or workbenches or other items around the shop. When you have a router table set up with a motorized router lift for mortising operations and a tenon to control the travel of the wood, you can easily make reproducible mortises suitable for loose tenon joinery. I hope you enjoyed my video, and if you have any questions about the setup or the processes you've seen here in the video, visit my website at www.eaglelakewoodworking.com and email me there.